Hello, let's look at my Christmas horse updates for today. So, we are going to run this. Beep. And basically what I have done, oops, oh, I put my notebook on my keyboard, so I did that. Gonna run the game, and then I'll kind of show off what has been happening. So there's a lot of debug text. Let me open up this. So, movement is still, kind of messy. I don't know if you can kind of see how much Beppis is vibrating on the video, but going back and forth really fast. But that's easy to fix. I just have to set like a movement region or tell them to stop moving once they get to like kind of the goal area. I created a set of basic test maps where I have basically a 3x3 grid. So if we go to here, you can see where I'm setting up the maps, and those are the indices. And I have each of the maps being set up. I have a map objects list, which is just a CSV file. And I put in some placeholder art from other games. So if I open this up, you can see we have our data. Here's a bunch of items and these things. So that is the middle area, which is here. If I wanted to update something, I could go up here and then change something up over here. Let's see, we didn't have stuff that was very far down. Let's maybe move. So before I save this, squirrel is right here, but I'm going to move squirrel down to 350. So when I go back down, it reloads the map. So now squirrel is down here. And I can change these things. But basically, we just have different neighbors. These doors are here no matter what. The door regions are here, but if they are set to -1, then it doesn't show up. And we can have different items. I need to set up the mini map. And currently nothing happens if you click those items, so I need to do something like picking stuff up into your inventory or starting to talk or just responding to it. Because I'm kind of making this a little bit like a point-and-click adventure, I guess. At least to have some sort of, I guess, puzzly gameplay in a way. Kind of just, again, like a point-and-click adventure. Maybe you pick up things and perhaps when you talk to somebody after you have something in your inventory, maybe they'll change what they say. I'm not planning on having it be very complicated, where, like, probably not having branching dialogue paths, probably something more like, here's Jimothy, if you click on him, he says one thing. If you have coin, Jimothy's money in your inventory, and you click on him again, maybe he says a different thing. So just kind of setting up different little game states that way. Also, probably adding keys to doors, so you have to maybe find something, pick it up in order to give it. Maybe if you have coin and you talk to squirrel while you have coin, squirrel gives you key, something really basic like that. But what all has gone into this? I mean, I've been coding for a couple hours this morning. We see all of these. These are the door areas. That's basically what I've been working on, is just getting kind of a moving between rooms working. With this, let me go ahead and close this because it kind of just keeps running in the background. Let's see. In the game state, I have also added a map object. So I did have some test objects just in the game state itself, which, again, like, this is like a thing I work on once a year, and the game is done after that year, and I don't really do many updates to it, so I'm not concerned with making this like a very big, flexible game program with reusable code. I have my previous code, and I have those game states, and I kind of just set things up that way. If I were working on a big project, I would design this differently, but right now, this is good enough to get the job done in the time that I have. So here's the map. We have our list of objects. I have point and click objects. This is built on top of my previous Cello characters and game objects, which I really want to update at some point. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. Each point and click object has mouse over text, draw. We have our map path. It'll have a background associated with it. Not a whole lot happening here. Map name, and then it stores integers for its neighbor of various directions. You can only have 4 directions. Part of my strategy here to save on coding time is you can only walk around in this kind of square area. And basically I'm not going to have any collision detection in here. Basically I'm restricting the horse to this area. Every room is going to be the same shape. And even if I have maybe some like decorations along the walls, I'm going to keep the floor area clear of any obstacles that you can't walk through. And what that gives me is just easier coding, because then I don't have to do collision detection and path finding. So, you know, when we're doing our Christmas games, we cut corners in ways we make the design around that. We design around these cut corners to make a game that works. You know, similarly, if I go back, oh, I can't go back with that button. I don't have a back button yet for the game. Wait, that's not what we want. Oh, this is probably just under my packages. I have program base. The application. If we tell it to go to the startup state instead, you'll notice that with Christmas Horse 3, I was making this sort of tower defense thing, but I ended up not having any paths, and what that got me was a much easier coding time and just having things appearing at whatever spot and not having to do any sort of pathfinding. So it's like a tower defense game, but it's very, very basic. But it still works, and it's still relatively fun, I think. You know, and I'm not saying Christmas Horse is the best game in the world. It's just mostly an excuse for me to experiment with different gameplay types and have fun and make a gift for my cousin and or the entire world. Anyone who likes horses. And oh, that's my cousin now sending me a message, and it has a croc sound effect. My cousin is feeling better today, which is good. So what else? I mean, stepping through the code. I mean, this is all up on GitLab as well. Let's not open. Oh, I forgot to change branches, I suppose. But that's all up here. You can kind of watch the the progress over time. And I'll keep making updates. So next things on the list, doing a mini map. Interaction code, you know, whether it's picking something up or having a basic dialogue. I don't think that will be too difficult for just having like non-branching paths and stuff with the text. Yeah, just kind of figuring out what, you know, as you play or as I play the game, being like, well, it'd be nice to do this, or, you know, this might be interesting to have. Really, there's no design. I just had a vague idea of one thing I wanted in the game this year, and I kind of have that. I have an idea for the very first puzzle. What's the story? I don't know yet all the way. But this is how I approach Christmas Horse every year. I just, I wing it. So, here's the webcam. I will be posting more. I might not do a stream, because it kind of breaks my concentration, especially when I'm just kind of experimenting and figuring things out for the first time. Maybe I'll keep streaming the terminal game development, because that was fun, and felt basic enough where I didn't have to like figure out really hard problems while on stream and figure out bugs and stuff as much. But for Christmas Horse, I might just do little update videos. So, yay! Eh.